As a content creator, you know that is one of the best ways to build relationships with people and get them to know who you are, the product you have, etc. And repurposing is a real key to getting ahead. What does that mean? Well, that means you're going to take a content, you got to say it's a video or something, and you're going to take segments of that and use it in different ways to get more business for you. This is what we're going to talk about. You're going to love this one because some new technologies have come out. I want to share these with you. Hi, I'm Terry Brock, and I talk about how you can use this in many different ways and how you're going to be able to get the advantage of using AI in some big ways. Matter of fact, it's called the strategic imperative. That's an important word there. Imperative content repurposing in digital marketing. In an era of content saturation, and boy, don't we have a lot of that today, repurposing emerges as a critical lever for amplifying your reach, optimizing resource, and sustaining audience engagement. All of that real important. So I'm going to show you specifically how you can do that and what can be done with it in some big ways. There's a lot that's available with it, and we're going to see that you can do this to grow your business in a specific way, making sure that you're getting the kind of information that you need and making sure that you're going to be able to get the connection, really connecting with people and building those relationships as you want them to. So let's get started by taking a look at how you can maximize your return on content investment. One of the ways to do that is asset multiplexing. You might think, what in the world is that? What does that mean? Well, it's a fancy term for repurposing. What that means is you're now going to start using things different ways. You're transforming a single webinar. Say if you had a webinar that was really good and had some information in there, you can put it into multiple formats and it can achieve 412% greater content utilization. Those are the numbers by the evidence, and we've seen that coming from some good research. When you can take that webinar and where you said that really choice thing, that thing was good, or your special guest, she was just dynamite when she brought out that content about saying this and that. That's what you want to focus on. Make sure that you are doing this in the right way. And here's one that is really handy. Evergreen content. Write that down. You want to make sure you get content that can be used over and over again and has a long lifestyle. Now, I can't do that as well because for me, I'm speaking about AI, talking about those things that are available right now that we can use, and they'll be old. We talk about and joke about AI, the latest thing that came out this morning. How old is that? Yeah, it's whatever happened this afternoon. Well, we only say that with slightly tongue-in-cheek because things are moving very rapidly. But what you want to do is be able to focus as much as you can on building evergreen content that solves problems that your audience says, hey, we need to get this thing taken care of. Because you see, with evergreen content, you're going to be able to have strategic updates to statistics and examples. This yields 73% longer shelf life for core educational materials. It's really good for that. And also platform-specific adaptations. And what do we mean by that? Well, it means you're going to take video to blog conversions. They're going to see on that 28% higher dwell times when enhanced with interactive elements. So in other words, ways that people can work with it. You take a video, put it on your blog, and you have ways that people can click here, or they can get a download for this, or they can see a particular episode that you have, or they can see something that you look at and go, hey, that's pretty good stuff. I like it. Constantly focus on how you can do that, and that will really maximize your return on what you're doing on your content in a big way. And for LinkedIn, here is one powerful tool for those of us who are appealing business to business, the B2B. We can use this by looking at, say, LinkedIn preferences. Did you know that 62% of LinkedIn users prefer long-form professional content? This is a different environment. That means what you're doing is you've got to tailor your message to the market that you're appealing to. What works over on TikTok is not necessarily going to work in LinkedIn or on Instagram or on another platform. You need to make sure that it's tailored and customized, even just a slight bit, for that particular market. Doing the same thing over and over is not a good way to win people and get them coming back because they're going to think, well, I saw it there. They're going to want to see a different angle, maybe something just a little bit extra. And when you're talking about LinkedIn, yeah, that's where people really want to do business. They're thinking about business and they want to be able to find out about you and how you're going to solve their problems. And that opens up a lot of opportunities for speakers, professional speakers like me. I do a lot of professional speaking, going out speaking for clients at conferences and conventions on AI and how they can use AI for relationship marketing. building that and helping out. If we can help you out on that, let us know in the chat below, or you can let us know some other way, terry@terrybrock.com. Love to help you on that. But there are a lot of opportunities now for those of us who do that. What you want to do is you want to repurpose your legacy material. What do I mean by that? Well, you know that article you wrote, let's say it was a few years ago, and it did really well, and the material is still good. You can go back to that material, get that content, and redo it by writing a little bit extra, updating it. We just finished one of our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs programs tonight and got a chance to talk with people who had put together content from years ago, and it is still valid today. The points they made about principles of running a business and hiring people and treating them right still apply today. So they could do that. However, one thing they could do is there was a mention of audio cassette tapes. Remember those? And if you don't, Google that or Perplexity that one and find out what it is. They're audio tapes. But what we could do is say, that's what we used back then. But today, of course, we're using MP3s and we're using other forms of audio. We're using 11 Labs. We're using other tools for audio, etc. You can repurpose your material, and when you repurpose it, then people are going to say, hey, this is good. It's applicable now. It's good for what we did back then and now. Also, select your best work from earlier times, and then you want to update and amplify it. Update it, saying, okay, we used this before. Things have changed a little bit. Here's how we do it now, and then amplify it onto other platforms that are appropriate for your audience. Not just anywhere, but places where your audience is hanging out and looking for help. You want to comment on those changes and what hasn't changed. To say, okay, this changed right now, and we see that that had some major ramifications, but this part here, it remains the same. We've got the same thing going on now as we did back then, and now you can use this in some powerful ways. And don't let your best go to waste. The best content that you have, find ways you can nudge it. You can retweet it. You can, if we're going to be tweet using X now, or using some other tools that are out there. This is where it's really going to come in handy. And also your modality effect in education. Many of us are using educational content, kind of like I'm doing here, giving you some information that you can use. You take it back, apply that, put it into practice, and then you're going to be able to generate more business yourself in that. It'll give you a lot of capabilities. One of those will be knowledge retention. For instance, it increases by 38% compared to single medium approaches. So when you put it in different areas, people learn more that way. 38% more is what the reference is telling us. And by the way, how did I get that number? You might be wondering, where did we get that? Well, that came from doing some deep research. Yes, content creator to content creator. Can we just talk here, just us? This is really important. You want to put information out there, and there's a way to do it now with deep research. Now, we have that as I'm doing this recording on 3 different platforms. We've got it on Google with their Gemini, we've got it on ChatGPT, and we've got it here on Perplexity. I'm using Perplexity a little bit more myself, find that it works when I'm at the professional plan, their paid plan of $20 a month. Well worth it in my mind. And it gives you the ability to tap into that, to find those numbers, to really look at the information there. So that way, when you're updating and repurposing, you've got a way to get extra information there. If you got a question on that, let us know. And if you're using that, give us a like on this one. Let us know about that and leave a comment how you're using it and how it's helping you. Or if you got questions on it, we'd love to hear from you on that to help you. Another way is with accessibility. Right now, you can expand your neurodiverse learners, helping them to expand their learning through captioning and text alternatives. You might be like I am. I know I am. And you want to make sure that what you're doing is learning in a different way. I find when I can hear something and I can read the text, I follow along a lot better. That comes in real handy also when you're watching videos with someone that might have a little accent different than what I'm used to. I was born in America and speak a Native American slang accent kind of thing. When I hear someone even from England, sometimes I'm going, what are they saying? Huh? What is that? Or Australia or something? It's like we got 2 separate countries there and 2 different languages. They speak British over there. We speak American here. A little bit different over there. But by having the text on the screen, that helps us to learn a lot more and learn it even better. And then a third way is, of course, as we know, 24/7 consumption. This enables round-the-clock access across many different time zones. So while you're sleeping, people can listen to what you have to say and buy from you if you have your website set up accordingly. This is golden. Take advantage of the opportunities. Now, here's some of my favorite patterns for content creation. You might be able to use this, and if this can help you, by all means, take it down. First of all, idea gathering. I want to do some research. That's where deep search can come in, and deep research, so that I can go in there, really do that well. I'm using Perplexity for it. Works really well, and we're seeing really good results also with my buddies over there at ChatGPT. Good stuff. There's some other tools that come out. I love what Grok is doing. It's Grok. Grok has given us some really good information on seeking this as well. So you want to do this for your research, for observations, and of course, the University of YouTube. I like to go to YouTube and get some great videos there, seeing what's available. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Just give us a like down there below. And if you're watching, just say, hey, we're listening to this, Terry, and looking forward to hearing from you. Also, give yourself a rough outline. Just kind of put down, this is kind of what I want to do. I want to put that together and make it happen. And then start with the assets that you're going to need. I do this when I'm using my video. What am I going to need? I'm going to need an asset. You know, a good graphic would look really nice right here. Or this might be better if I did it this way. So I'm constantly looking at how I can change that and what we can do to make it even better and more appealing. I like the idea of going with video first, then you repurpose it. Start with your video, then you say, okay, let's pull that. One of the ways we can do it that I like to do, pull the audio out of it and put that over on Libsyn, which is where I have my video going out, and make sure that they're getting that information over there. And I love, love, love these two packages, CastMagic and Taja, T-A-J-A, for repurposing. They both give me the ability to get the transcript. Yes, I get the sound of it, but I also get customized reprints of what's going on. They're giving me keywords, giving me an outline, timestamps, all of that there, plus keywords that I can use with hashtags over on Taja. Really good tools. One of the things I really like about Taja, I've talked about here before, is when you can use that to create clips. It creates clips for you. You can then schedule those on a calendar that's put into Taja, and it works really nicely. I talk about this on another video. Stay tuned to the end of this. I'll show you how you can watch that video also, and you're going to really love it. Vista Social is another tool that I'm using for distribution, so that it takes the information, sends it out at a given time and date. There are many tools that do a real good job of that. Find one that works for you that will help you a lot. And then you want a lot of analysis and review. This is where it really comes in. What you got to do is you got to say, okay, it's not just a matter of creating the videos. It's a matter of checking and finding out, okay, what worked on this one? What didn't work on this one? What can I do to change it, turn it around a little bit, and make it even better? That's going to be a real key of how we're going to get ahead and be able to do it. Not everybody likes to do that. I sometimes don't when the numbers aren't as good as I'd like them to be, but this is what we have to do. So between you and me, yeah, we got to study those analytics and take a look at it. And lots, notice all caps there, lots of use of ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, and others too. There's some really good tools out there that we're seeing, like Gemini, who is coming out from Google. They're doing a good job of that. I like Copilot from Microsoft. Got some nice things there. And Anthropic has Claude, which is really good, and it was #1 for a while, still damn good. It's just that every week things tend to go back and forth, up and down, but all of those are really good. I find what you want to do is not use just one, but have a couple, 2 or 3 in your hip pocket that you feel comfortable using. So when you get answers that might look a little bit funny, a little bit wonky, what you can do is you say, let me check the other one too. So you compare different LLMs, the large language models, with others that are out there. And then for a content cascade model, first of all, start with a premium report when you can. When you are allowed to do that, when you're able to do it, and by allowed, I mean your numbers and you say, yeah, let's put something out there, launch it with gated access. So that way people can pay something for it. By people paying something, they feel more involved. It moves it to a whole different level than just when it's free content. Paid content, very good. And then a blog series. I have my blog over at terrybrock.com. We talk about all kinds of things. You might want to join me over there sometime to see some of the print information particularly, but we also put the videos like these over at terrybrock.com, so you'll see that as well. And repurpose your key findings on that. Social media visuals are real good. Hey, the research is showing people like those graphs. They like to see what's there, so it can distill the statistics and make it much easier to use and to make more sense of it as well. Podcast interviews, love those things. You can get a lot more intimate with someone, finding out a deep subject, what they really think, and go in depth much more. Matter of fact, we're seeing right now what's happening is mainstream media is having some challenges because people are saying, hey, I want much more in depth than just a 2-minute report with people yelling at each other. That is not a real good way to learn. An in-depth hour, 2, 3 hours, or whatever it takes interview in audio, no holds barred, is really a great way to learn what's going on. This is where we can start getting ahead by being able to do those interviews and making sure that we're doing it. Matter of fact, people often like to listen to convert case studies. You can listen to how someone applied some principles and was able to solve a problem. That's really important. Oh, and here's something you can do in your market. Think about producing an annual trend report. What is happening in your industry? What is happening in this place where you live and you know the terms, you know the people, you know what happened last year and the year before that. Someone else coming into the market might not know that, but those who are in the market will value the reports that you can give. And then you recompile the user feedback. Find out what people are saying. Get the user feedback from that and make it happen. And this is important. If you forget everything else on this video, remember this, you want evergreen first as your strategy. The evergreen is something that's going to be around for a long time. Prioritize that. That's difficult for me to do because, hey, the kind of work I'm doing right here, I'm telling you about AI. And anyone that's in the field of AI knows it's changing a lot, very rapidly, meaning that what I'm putting out right now, a month from now or a year from now, will be considered old hat. It's kind of tough to do that. So what I'm looking at is doing this as well as some other evergreen principles that can stay in there a little bit longer. I would encourage you to think about how that could work for you and let me know what you're doing. Love to hear from you on that, of how you're working with it. You want to focus on content with sustained relevance, something that means it's going to be good now. It's going to be good probably 20 or 30 years from now. A lot of people in our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs program are creating content like that. That's still good today after a long time. And then update what is there. For instance, you can go back and refresh statistics or examples biannually. Have a report. Hey, this is what's going on in our industry now. January and June are good times to do that. Or December, here's what happened in the year. Here's what's going on. Here's what we're predicting for next year. January is a good one to say, okay, here's what we see. New year now. We're past the holidays. This is coming. Or June is a good time as we round the corner from June into July. Here in the United States, we have our 4th of July weekend. That's a wonderful time to say, okay, first half of the year is now over. What happened? What was good? This was notable. This was a big event, etc. This was a disappointment, etc. What can we expect the second half of the year? Putting that together can be real handy. And then repurpose the daylights out of that material you've got. Adapt high-performing evergreen content. If something's working here, take it and twist it just a little bit. Take your content that you wrote that's working, amplify it in certain ways. Maybe make a nicer video of it, or maybe redo some of it. That could be real good where you're telling a little bit more information on it and can be real handy with that. Then analyze it. And this is the toughest part, because sometimes you don't want to see it. I know I don't, but we need to do it. We need to sit down and say, okay, let's see what happens. How are we going to make this work? You want to track your performance over time. This is where the analytics are extraordinarily important. And here's the good news. This research shows that evergreen pieces yield 318% more repurposing value than time-bound content. Make sure you do some evergreen first as you're creating your content. Find something that will last, whatever it might be, something that's going to be good. And then Go through your audience journey mapping, the kind of things that they're looking for, like top of funnel. You want to give them infographics, short videos, and more. Also, you'll want to work there in the middle of the funnel, giving them information on webinars, case studies, and posts. Notice how that increases their level of involvement. And then third, bottom of the funnel, get people involved, more direct engagement and connection with real people. Have people talking to you as they get into that bottom of the funnel where they're really narrowing down. It starts this way and then it's a funnel that comes down to a smaller group of people. They will have access to you and they will get the information that you need. And that leads us to the AI human collaboration model. This part is extraordinarily important. You want to use those AI tools, absolutely, but make sure you've got human oversight on it. And watch for your efficiency gains, tracking all this. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. With AI tools like ChatGPT is great for ideation, coming up with ideas, what's hot right now. I love Cast Magic. It's a great tool that gives me the ability to create certain clips with their captions. I can highlight from this part down to that part, just highlighting in the transcript, pull that out and make it a separate clip that goes out there and like a little soldier that's making money for me out there on the field. I like it, working really well. And Taja does a similar thing. It goes out and finds clips within the video that you put in there that the AI is saying, this is what others are looking for. It gives it to you so that you can post that also through their scheduling. Really good tools. And we got some links in the link down below in the description if you're catching this on YouTube so you can find out about it. Or if you got a question, well, drop me a note. You see how to reach me in many different ways. Terry@terrybrock.com. Ask me a question. I'll be happy to help you on that. And you want to maintain a strategic direction and creative input. Always, yes, notice that's in all caps, always you want to make sure that you have human beings in charge. The machines are our servants. That's what we got to do. And have efficiency gains with faster production cycles, with consistent quality. Put in your reps. You've got to do that. One of the most important things to get ahead, it is vital that you put in the reps, whatever it is, get better and better at what you're doing. That means you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Hey, sorry, it works that way here on planet Earth. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to go, oh, wish I would have done it this way. Wish I would have done that differently. Put in those reps and learn from them. My buddy Harvey McKay says it really well. People will say, practice makes perfect. Not true. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you keep doing something, practicing over and over the wrong way, you're not going to get better. You need to get better and perfect it. Use tools to help you learn what to do. Use AI to help monitor you, make sure you're getting better. Hire a coach, part with your capital, get people to help you. It's something that we do regularly. Gina Carr, my partner, and I, we do this regularly, helping you. If we can help you in some areas on how to work with AI, how to market yourself better, we'd be delighted to help you on that and let us know what we can do. There's a lot of good and you don't want to cut yourself short. Put in that. Now, also, there's some things you want to avoid. Prohibited practices. Well, that's going to include some things that are going to be real important, like platform agnostic duplication. You want to make sure that you have something that's going to be a little bit different each time. Something needs to be different that you're putting in for this platform versus that. Again, putting the same video on TikTok that you would put on LinkedIn seldom will work. You want something a little bit different on YouTube than it's going to be over on Facebook. Have them just a little bit different with something else. And then have a non-transformative recycling. When you're doing this, that's going to be real important all the way around. For instance, with the platform agnostic, it decreases engagement by 47% through audience fatigue. If they've seen it over here, they're not going to want to see it over here if it's exactly the same. And you can be penalized by platforms like YouTube for lack of original commentary. So you want to watch out for that. And your CEO cannibalization. This is the third point here. Make sure that you have something different. Identical keywords see 62% lower rankings than semantically optimized variants. So you want something that's just a little bit different. It's going to help you to stand out in a different way on different platforms. And here's one most important. The human element in content repurposing. Make sure that you have strategic oversight, that humans are providing the crucial direction in content strategy. Do not let AI take over. You do it by using AI. It's a great tool, a great servant, but you want to be able to have the strategic oversight and the creative adaptation. With human creativity, it ensures unique and engaging repurposed content. And then ethical considerations there. These are important, very important. Human judgment will navigate complex ethical landscapes in content reuse. So make sure that you're doing what is ethical, and this is where it's good to have peers looking at it. You have in science and the PhD level, they often have what they call peer review. People that are your peers, they're also really smart in this area, and they're taking a look at what you're doing. Find the peers that you can work with, the people you can talk to that'll give you an honest answer. Are you doing okay on this or not? And let them work with you. Also, you want to look at content repurposing workflow and how you're going to handle that. This is going to be a content audit. Find out, okay, what high-performing pieces are suitable for repurposing. If something's already doing well, then you want to talk about it elsewhere and make sure it's doing more. Then your format selection, you want to choose the appropriate new formats based on your audience preferences. Find out what they're liking, where are they reacting favorably, and what do they like and not liking. Then for content adaptation, you want to modify your content to suit new format requirements. Make sure that as the new format emerges, that you adapt it accordingly. Don't just always keep the same thing, cookie cutter, over and over. And then have a good quality check. Ensure that repurposed content meets quality standards. Got to look over it. I've gone over, for instance, on this presentation I'm doing here, I've gone over it many times already, looking at it. And every time I go over it, I can see something else. I go, oh, I want to tweak that a little bit. Oh, I need to tweak that a little bit. And you might see some as well. But also, that's the other thing. Don't wait until it's perfect, because it never will be. Instead, when it looks good, get it out there and be done with it. That's going to be important. And then with your distribution, make sure that you share repurposed content across relevant channels. Make sure that these are changing and they're out there working and flowing smoothly. So content repurposing tools you'll want to use, some that I recommend. Well, first of all, Canva. Canva is great because, hey, I'm not a graphics person, but Canva takes care of me. They give what's called templates. Excuse me, and I think that is one of the best. It gives you the ability to take something that already looks good, and instead of that picture, pull it out, put yours in there. And instead of these words in that really nice font, you put in your own words. Canva does it well. Also, Cast Magic, I've mentioned before, great little tool. And again, we've got our affiliate link for this and other tools. If you buy that through me, I get a little bit of a commission on that, and I'll make sure that you get, let me know that you did that, and we'll give you some information, some resources to help get you started and give you some inside ideas on it. Same thing with Taja. Taja is a great little tool that helps you to repurpose your content and get a lot of good out of that, as well as Gamma, which is a tool I'm using for this. It gives you the ability to create a presentation like a PowerPoint or Keynote presentation. I use Keynote over on the Mac, and that's what I'm using right now. Hey, content creator to content creator. I took this and put it into my Mac Keynote, and it's working very well. But Gamma created it just like that. Really handy, and I'd recommend you take a look at that. Oh, and by the way, the other tool I'm using, Ecamm. Ecamm is giving me the ability to keep my picture over here so I can move it around like so and be able to work with it. Here, I'm just showing you barely this, bearing my soul to you. This is how we do it, content creator to content creator. And then also have your content atomization strategy. What do you mean by that? Well, atomization allows for efficient creation of multiple content pieces from a single source. So you start with your core content. You create a comprehensive piece. That's the first one. Then you break it down into smaller segments that can be repurposed in other areas. And then you adjust, adapt to modify for the different platforms. So whatever you're doing, you make sure that it's going to fit appropriately into that other platform for you in a very good way. This is how we do it and what can be done with it. Then you start distributing it, where you share it across the different channels. And here's that word again, analyze it. Measure your performance, find out what you did right and what we need to improve for the next time. And then for content repurposing, for lead generation, this can really help a whole lot. Look at your blog post for an informative article on an industry topic. Also, a webinar is still a great way to create a lot of content with you and or a guest or multiple guests. Have in-depth discussion with an expert panel is another good way to get a lot of great content. Creating an ebook that you could give away or that you could sell with comprehensive guide with actionable tips. See, that's a key thing. People like to see something that is going to give them the steps. Here's what you do and how you do it. Kind of like we're doing here in this one that I'm doing today. I want to make sure that you've got at least enough there you can go, okay, that's good. This one's not for me. That one's not for, oh, but this one might be good. And please let us know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you if you find something that is particularly good. So with ebooks, these are good. They give you the ability to do a lot with it. And you can have an email course. You can have a course where people are going through email or through some other form of connection with a series of lessons that are delivered via email. These are real handy. So repurposing content for various formats is a great way to capture leads at different stages of the buyer's journey. This will be important. What you want to do is also repurpose it for different learning styles. Different people learn in different ways. Some are visual learners. That tends to be me predominantly. Infographics, videos, information-rich content. Yeah, well, I like that. But also there's a side of me that likes audio, particularly when I'm doing something else. When I'm multitasking, I'm driving in the car. Maybe we're taking a trip from here up to Atlanta. June and I might head up there. It's good to listen to some audio. Or if I'm just knocking around, getting some work done, say doing the clothes, folding clothes or something like that. That's a nice thing to do, to listen to audio with podcasts, audiobooks, and webinars. And also kinesthetics. Some people learn best by feeling, getting involved with it. You want interactive quizzes, workshops, and simulations. These are all really important. And then your user-generated content repurposing is going to be really important. You want customer reviews. Look at that and transform into testimonial videos or quote graphics. Use that so people can say, oh yeah, someone saw it and they really liked it. Your social media mentions, well, you want to use that as well. Compile into case studies or success stories. What people did, how they liked it, and how they were able to use it themselves and how others can. And then your Q&A sessions. You want to use this so that you repurpose, say as an FAQ. People have asked that question, have a frequently asked questions thing that posts and it shows the knowledge base articles. These are something you can build on top of to achieve a lot of good. So you see, we're talking about repurposing in many, many different ways that can help you. And repurposing for different devices, well, remember, people are watching this and consuming it in different ways. From a desktop, from a tablet, or a mobile. You want to make sure that it's customized for each of those, and that's something that we do. We look at what can work on a desktop. Most of the people we find are watching ours on desktop or on a laptop computer. Many, however, watching it on a device like a phone or a tablet. So it's going to be a little bit different, but we want to make sure that it's something that people can use in some profound ways and be able to see it and be able to use it in a lot of ways that help them. And then you want to have your content repurposing challenge, maintaining consistency. Think about how you're going to do that. Ensure that your brand voice remains consistent across different formats. Also, avoid redundancy. Make sure you create unique value in each repurposed piece. Don't just do the same thing over and over again. And for your resource allocation, balance your time and effort between creating new and repurposing your existing content. It's a constant checking, constant trying to find out, okay, what does the market want now? What worked before might be a good indication that you could use it again, but don't hold on to what worked in the past because it might not work in the future. And treat your platform constraints with care so that what you do is you're saying, okay, we're going to adapt the content to meet the specific platform requirements and the limitations that are in that particular area where it is. And then you want to have the best practices for evergreen content repurposing. Make sure that you're following those and what they are. Some of those will include a lot of different areas where you have regular updates, keeping statistics and examples current or maintaining relevance. You also want to look at your modular design. That means your structured content, so easily repurposable segments are there. And timeless topics, something that is going to be able to be changed over and over many different times. You want something that people will say, okay, I like this, they're still using that format. And focus on subjects with long-term interest and value, something that you do now and it's still good long into the future as you move there. And your adaptable formats, make sure that you create content that can be easily transformed across the whole media that you're using. Whatever it is, it works in a different way. So in conclusion on this, a lot of things are available for you in the future of content sustainability. This is something that you really want to do. First of all, treat it as a strategic imperative. That means your content repurposing is crucial, important word, crucial for sustainable digital marketing success. Make sure that what you're doing is going to help you to reach out, have efficiency and reach. Repurposing continues your it optimizes your resources while expanding your audience engagement. That's a good winning combination there. You're getting better resources and your audience engagement is right up there where it needs to be. And you have continuous innovation. Embrace emerging technologies while you're maintaining your human creativity and your oversight. So yes, we use the AI, but we also make sure that we're tapping into what needs to be done. And adaptable, well, we talk about that a lot here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. Stay agile in content strategies to meet evolving audience needs and platform dynamics. They're constantly changing, so you want to adapt and change accordingly. So the strategic imperative of content repurposing in digital marketing means, yeah, it's a big deal thing. And what you want to do is you want to be able to repurpose, stay on top of what's going on, and be able to adapt and change as you see the market changing. And so what I would say in closing, you want to make sure that you're constantly up to date, using the tools, practicing with them, and working to learn more. These tools can help you to repurpose, get a lot more done, and take the effort that you did and squeeze more juice from that lemon. Yep, that's what you'll be able to do. And a good way to do that is when you're working with us, be able to look into some other areas that are going to help you. We do that here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, and would love to see you stop by and visit us sometime. StarkRavingEntrepreneurs.com is where you can find out more information about what we offer. I do this, Gina Carr, my partner, does it with me, and we're able to help you in a lot of different ways. And speaking of that, we've got some videos that can help you in a big way as well. Check into these videos that'll give you more information, particularly on how to use Taja and how you'll be able to use Cast Magic in a profound way. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm Terry Brock, and thanks for joining me today.